Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another day in Cartagena, Colombia. Today we are doing a town tour, and we are starting on top of a 150-meter high hill, which is the highest point in Cartagena, and we are starting at the Convento de la Popa.
That great building over there is a university, private university.
Okay.
And San Felipe Fortress, which is the largest and the biggest fortress was designed by Spanish in 2003. So that's what we're gonna do today. Okay. Let's go inside the church.
Okay. The convent or monastery, as it was told to us by our guide, has an intriguing but also kind of troubling history. And the views are beautiful, as you guys saw. Like, you can see everything from up here. The original structures were built in the early 1600s by Augustine friars. Supposedly, the Virgin Mary came to one of the friars, Friar Alonso de la Cruz Paredes, in a dream and told him to build the convent atop of a hill overlooking Cartagena. According to legend, some locals, like the indigenous people of Cartagena and the African slaves, had previously worshipped an evil spirit that came in the shape of a goat. But by building the convent, the friar was able to fulfill his mission of bringing Christianity to the land that the Spaniards had colonized.
So this church is from the 1607. There was a law dreaming that Virgin Maria told him his dream they have to build a church on the top of the Gold City. But when he come here, okay, he get a big surprise that no. Those are the dresses that she's been wearing since many years. Every year different, the biggest designers of the city, even to her. Okay, that's the prayer of her. And this is how we do that big procession. Oh, wow. This one is from the 70s. This one from the 70s. Okay, now people's coming with that many as before. People are changing the belief. Okay. A lot of people.
And here is an illustration of the spirit that came in the shape of a goat and the native people worshiping it, basically. But the pictures he was showing us before were of the people that come to celebrate the feast of the Virgen de la Candelaria de la Popa. And he was telling us that from dawn on February 2nd, crowds of religious people in the area, crowds of like believers gather, and they make the pilgrimage. They take the trip from wherever they are to the top of that hill by foot. The drive was windy and scary, so I could not imagine walking that. And then he was telling us that although the location was really good because it was high up and it was like in the city, over a few hundreds of years, the place still incurred a lot of attacks from pirates, invading armies, and rebels who did do damage to the structural integrity of the chapel and the hill that it was sat upon. So as the years passed, every year they had an invasion. Every year they just rebuilt and kept making it better and better. Even now, while we were currently there was construction still happening. I'm gonna like turn the audio on so you guys can hear, but they are literally still drilling and constructing.
Yeah. Convention center and everything.
For some reason, this was like my favorite part of the tour. Well, one of my favorite parts. But they have this room just dedicated to foreign currency. So there's currency from, they have it separated based on continents. But it was so interesting to see like other countries' monies.
Asia.
Oh, right here. Oh, wow. Oh, this, yeah, that's the new $10. Yeah, this is new. I ain't never seen that gentleman before in my life.
Christopher Columbus. You never actually seen him.
Exactly. I never looked him in his, what it is to you, his God-given eyes.
Bermuda.
And the teacher and me came out, so I was able to get clear video and photos of Hispanic countries' money, currencies, for me to use when I teach. when we walked out into this area, I immediately thought of Encanto. I feel like the red rails is so similar to the movie that I did some research. And I was actually kind of sad to find out that it was not directly, or the movie was not directly inspired by this, though it was inspired by Colombian architecture. So back to the tour. He is showing us this little list of people that have visited the monastery or the convent. Important people.
From French.
And this is the part of the chapel where people come to pray to the Virgin Mary and they come to pray for themselves. So he's going to show at one point a little box that has a lot of pendants in it. And he said that if you're coming to the church to pray for a specific like bodily pain or medical issue, you would pick a pendant, put your donation in the box, and then pray for healing of that organ or healing of that limb or whatever really ails you.
Depends what you want to be healed. You can with the face or with independence like legs, heart, whatever you want to be. You want to be healed. To come here and pray and do rejuvenation here. That's what they do before, no anymore.
Gotcha.
Oh.
And of course, pictures or didn't happen. You didn't go there. You didn't see anything. And so we are wrapping up the first part of our tour at the church on top of the hill. And we are going down into the city to visit Castillo de Felipe de las Barajas, or the fortress of Felipe, San Felipe's fortress.
Because he's missing a leg, arm and eyes.
Oh my gosh.
But was very brilliant on the work. He make a good defense against the bridge. That's why we don't speak English, because the defense did. Okay? And also the French took this fortress and the city. We're going up until you guys say enough.
Okay.
Okay?
Because I love you guys and I want you to get more of the history and less of our huffing, I'm going to just take the audio away from this portion of the video for a second. This walk was so steep and it was so extremely humid that like everybody was just sticky. We were just wet. So thank goodness our tour guide was prepared and he had these umbrellas prepared for us, and he gave us a bottle of cold water to drink but also take with us on the way up. And like he said, he was only going to go as far as we were willing to go, but we were willing to go the whole way. We just didn't tell him that part, but we went all the way to the top of this fortress and we had the full experience. Cartagena was always a desirable conquest for pirates and enemies of the Spanish crown, and so for this reason they really had to get up on their defenses to protect the city from these threats, and this fort was one of those defenses.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. It's hotter than the devil's balls, y'all.
We just came from there. It's thank goodness for this umbrella though. Probably wouldn't have made it without the umbrella. And they gave us, where's the water? You can't even see it, but he gave us cold water when we started walking up, and now the water is quite hot also, but it was great. Let me show you guys. I don't know if you can see the whole of what we hiked. We went all the way to the top, around and around and around and up some stairs and down a tunnel to the top. And now we're at the bottom, getting back in the air-conditioned car. I'm excited for that. And we arrive at location number 3, which is Gethsemane. Gethsemane has many attractions, including restaurants, a lot of street art and graffiti, cultural spaces, and renowned streets. So let's get into this part of the tour.
Graffiti is about African we got the coconut, because coconut is the main recipe
ingredient
of
Ingredients. Uh-huh.
Okay. Right.
Yep. One thing I will say is Gethsemane back in the day had a reputation for being the neighborhood where you can come and do all sort of debaucherous things like prostitution and drugs. However, now it's just so beautiful. Like everything is very brightly colored. There's an artistic flair to everything. Like this was created for the eyes and it's gorgeous. Everything is just like the buildings are painted bright colors. It's beautiful. And I wish we could have stayed until nighttime because our tour guide told us the neighborhood really comes alive at night, but we just had other plans, so we couldn't.
The people from Cartegena to stand and race against Spanish. So everybody get over here and walk to our main government palace. And we sign our independence. Every year in 1811, all the people in Cartagena come to this neighborhood because everything is down here. We have a big party going on over here. Lots of people drinks. We don't know each.
That's cool. Fabulous.
Ciao, my family. Ciao, family.
This gate right here, the water used to splash in the bay and on the wall. Yeah. Right here, there used to be the bay. Right. Just right here where we are. And those Africans who are right here, as a slave, have to pass by that entrance.
Oh wow.
That was the main entrance for the merchant to the city architecture. Okay, the one who used concrete cement in the balcony is Republican architecture. When you see, when you see a house like this one here, two-line balconies. Okay, when you see two-line balconies up and down, that means that the owner of the house have a lot of power. That's the way they show the power by balconies. And the knockers of the houses. Okay? And this is square. Okay? That was the gate that I tell you by the other side.
Yeah.
That is the costume square. Okay? And the costume officing. So anything that the Hispanic want to send to Spain, store it in this area, in this building. Put it in a book account. And that book account, all those papers, those books in the second floor. And those Africans used to sell in here. And they do a big...
I hope you got all that information from the tour guide because I couldn't remember a piece of it, so I'm glad I recorded it. But we are currently in our fourth and final stop, which is inside the walled city. My cousin and I literally walked here every day, but we never even covered 3% of the walled city. So this tour was very, very informative. I didn't want to make the video too long, but to just add on to what he was telling us about the history of the wall, about how they had this little window and people would ride up to the window on their horses and whisper into the window that they think this person is a witch. That person would then be put on trial, and they had a lot of the craziest ways of testing whether you were a witch or not. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like it if you liked it, subscribe so you don't miss more like this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.